Okay, sixth graders, lesson 7.3 is all about different ways of taking surveys. Taking a survey, meaning asking questions of people to collect data and figure out what people's opinions are. Okay? So there are some different ways to design a survey so that you can get the best sample of the people that you are going to ask. Why wouldn't you be able to ask everyone? Why don't you just ask everyone? Catherine?
Because then it would take a long time to collect everything.
Okay, depending on the size of the group, you would have to spend years doing something like that. If we wanted to take a poll of the people of Minnesota, or even the people in our town or city, that could take a long, long time. Okay? So what we have to do is ask a small group and then take that result and see if that is a sample or a try to predict what the entire population would answer based on the results of the sample survey. Okay? So that's what a survey and a sampling, taking a sample of the group is all about. Is asking a group of people that might represent everybody, what everybody's opinions would be. Okay? And so, wake up. There's the first one we'll talk about is called random sampling. Okay? What that means is designing a survey and a way of asking just people in a random way. Now it seems like that would be pretty easy. You just walk up to people and ask them, right? But it's a little bit more challenging than that. Random sampling means actually that every single person in the group that you're going to be polling has an equal chance of being selected. So how can you design something so that every single person has the same chance of being selected for the survey? That's what random sampling means. Okay?
You
Krista?
could put all their names in a hat and then draw it out of the hat.
Yes, that's exactly one way of doing that, is writing down all the names and putting them all in a hat, and that's kind of like what you're doing. Making sure that all the names, all the pieces of paper are exactly the same. There's no bigger pieces or littler pieces. And then, at random, choosing people. Okay?
Another way is if you get another person to come in and pick your volunteers, people who have never met them, so they don't have an impression on them, say, I like you, so I'm going to pick you.
Okay.
And, you know,
Yep. Right? But what if somebody is not in the room when they go in there? Yeah, now it's pretty close to random, right? But names out of a hat, or popsicle sticks, or how does the lottery, have you ever seen them select the numbers from the lottery? They have them in a container, like a container, and there's air blowing in so that the numbers with the balls with the numbers on them are floating up and down, and then they open it so that it's totally random. And a ball pops up, and that's the number that is selected. So every number in the container has a way of being selected. Okay, that's an example of random, where everyone has an equal chance to be selected for the survey. Okay. The next one we'll talk about is convenience sampling. This is probably the one you're most familiar with. Convenience sampling. And that is, I was just teaching second grade math last week, and they did a survey, and what did they do? They wrote down their question, and then they walked up to somebody and asked them. Well, how did they know who to walk up to?
Pick someone.
By whoever was closest to them. So that was based on convenience. Whoever was closest to them, they just walked up to them and asked them. And that's probably the way you've done surveys up to this point. Choosing people based on how available they are. Okay? Now, the benefit of that, I'm sorry, we forgot to talk about the benefits of the random sampling. The benefit is that you're not trying to manipulate the results at all in random sampling, right? So everyone has an equal chance. That means that your survey is completely random. You're not trying to manipulate the results. Meaning that you're not trying to get certain results to happen when you're taking a survey. When we just had an election and when they were doing polling, if they have a really good poll, that poll is taken and the people who are conducting the poll are not trying to manipulate the results at all. Not trying to show based on their poll that this is happening or that's happening. Okay? Convenience sampling. The benefit of convenience sampling is that you can usually get results more quickly because you don't have to spend as much time choosing the things at random. You might just ask people who are walking by. Okay? Whoever walks by, you just ask them a question. Convenience sampling. You might, if we were conducting a convenience survey in our school, you might go to places where you know kids are going to be going to the water fountain, to the bathroom, to the cafeteria. Hopefully before you walk into the restroom. All right? Not in the restroom. Okay. Now, the trouble with convenience sampling, though, is that it may not represent the group very well. For example, when we do polling for the upcoming foundation election, and we want to know who's leading in the polls, what if everyone that you asked was from just one grade? Does that give you a good sample of the whole group if you're asking everyone from one grade who they're going to vote for? But that could be your sample. Whatever happens, happens in a convenience sample. All right? You ask the first 10 people that walk up to you, and if they happen to be all from the same grade, then you go with it. Okay? You can get results quickly, but they may not be the best way. They may not represent the group that you're trying to ask. Okay? A systematic sample. The last one we'll talk about. And this is choosing people based on a pattern. So you establish a pattern as a way of selecting people, and you follow that pattern throughout the whole group that you're trying to survey. Okay? The benefits of that is that you get results that hopefully are more accurate or more represent the people that you're trying to, or the entire group. Okay? So can you think of patterns as ways of, what are some ways that you could select people based on a pattern? Anyone know? Like if we were going to take a sample of the school, a survey of everyone in the school, what kind of pattern could we follow? Catherine?
You could ask like 4 boys and 4 girls in every grade.
But how would you select the 4 boys and 4 girls?
You could like have the teacher select them.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's sort of random. Could you come up with a pattern for the way of selecting those 4 boys and 4 girls? Krista?
The color of their hair.
Okay. That might work. Except, what if there's more than or less than 4 people in the class with that color hair?
I know.
Their clothes.
Close. What about student numbers?
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what I was
Oh,
gonna say.
good. Good job, you guys. That's one way. Yeah, so what were you gonna say? How would you describe it, Otto?
It's one. If it's like 1 to 20, like the lowest number boy, the lowest number girl, the second lowest boy, the second lowest girl.
Sure.
That,
Yep. Right. Or you could select. Yep. Yes. So of their student numbers, the lowest number. So boy number 1, 2, 4, 8, or whatever. And based on their student numbers, you could select them. Okay. Or you could just select them as student numbers.
1 to 4 is
You're going to ask numbers 1 through 5 in every classroom. That would be an example of a systematic way of selecting.
Or maybe odd numbers or even numbers.
Correct. Odd numbers or even numbers. Yep. Yep. What?
age.
By age. Sure. Only the youngest. Yep. The 4 youngest people in each classroom. Good. Good. There's all kinds of ways. Okay? So, look at your worksheet for today. Oh, I haven't handed those out yet.
Yeah. Look at blood.
Oh, weird. I think I did. You hand one to Devlin. Pass these all the way down. Pass them all the way across. Does everyone have a copy? All right. Look at number 1. It says Sam wants to know how people like his new hot sauce. He performs a taste test for willing participants at the local grocery store on a Saturday morning. What type of sample do you think that is? If he goes to a local grocery store and performs a taste test. Convenience sampling, right. He didn't go to every store in town. He went to just the local store to ask people. Convenience sampling. Okay. Oh.
Good job, Daniel.
Oh, sorry, Danny. I thought you had another one in your
Mike.
bag.
Cross off Sam and write Devlin since he was hot
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, I think
right.
that's smart.
Yep. You could try that, Devlin. Come up with your own hot sauce.
I would probably add Tabasco, Frank's, Cholula.
sauce.
Frank's
Red Hot.
Oh yeah, Red Hot.
Tabasco.
There you go.
That's too fluffy.
Tapatio.
All right, let's look at number 2, class. Rachel wants feedback on how people like the school play. She plans to leave her survey forms on every 10th seat for people to fill out before they leave. She will do this before each performance of the play. What type of sample is she using, Danny? That's a systematic way. Yep. Systematic sampling. Before you turn the page, before you go over to the other side, there's one that we haven't talked about, and it's simply surveying the population. Okay, surveying the population. That one is, if we were to, if we wanted to know the results just in our classroom, would we need to use any of these methods? No, why not? Because it's a small group, we could ask everybody. And that's just surveying the population, it's called. If you're taking a survey of the population, you're asking everyone. Yes, no, all of everybody. If you're going to take a survey of a small group, then you should ask everybody. Okay? All right. Any questions on these?
No.
Nope.
All right. Do the back side for tomorrow.
I like all the backside.